She was afraid to come out of the locker.
She was as nervous as she could be.
She was afraid to come out of the locker.
I was afraid somebody would see.
1, 2, 3, 4. Tell the people what she wore.
It was an
itsy bitsy teeny yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
So in the water, I wanted to stay. The first time that I ever stole, it was for Barbie. My family went one Sunday afternoon to visit our friends. The babies.
We had moved from Detroit city limits to a new, safer neighborhood in one of the suburbs.
The babies had one daughter, Debbie, a few years older than me. Debbie
Had long, dark brown hair.
a blue bike, and an extensive wardrobe for her Barbies. On the day of the theft, Debbie was really past the age where I found dolls amusing. My family was there all afternoon, and
She wasn't allowed to go anywhere else.
playing Barbies at least past the time. You have a beautiful Barbie dress collection. My mother once told me that if she wasn't looking at the world,
It
it
might
might
disappear.
disappear. I worry that if the world isn't looking at me, I might. I've been an artist model for the past 6 years,
It's a weird way to earn money.
but it's not how I make a living.
More of a hobby.
More of a compulsion. When people find out I model for artists, the first thing they ask is,
With no clothes?
Like naked?
yes, naked.
When I was 10, I decided to dress up like a girl. I've been playing around with this
Long wig.
my mama had in her bedroom, feeling as if I'd found some
Forbidden clue?
to the secret life of my perpetually big-haired mom. I became overcome with the desire to
Put it on.
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 And so I did. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I saw something.
Beautiful.
I really did look like a girl.
It
It was an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini that she wore for the first time today. An itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
So in the water, I wanted to stay.
From the locker to the blanket,
From the blanket to the shore.
from the shore to the water.
Yes, there isn't any more. We come into this world without clothing.
Yet we spend our entire lives covering ourselves up.
Hiding our true selves with garments.
Clothing has a unique property that can make us feel tremendous about ourselves.
Or horrible about who we are.
Clothing is the artificial skin that helps to manage what others think of our
Personalities.
Abilities.
status
Power.
Value.
and sexuality.
Today, we argue that when we put on clothing,
They cease to be apparel. They become
An idea. They mold and stretch your shape.
and the more you wear them,
The more they become intrinsically linked to the things we've been through.
through the stories, The Pink Dress by Barbara Simpson,
Live Nude Girl, My Life is an Object by Kathleen Rooney.
Scared Straight by Paul Feig.
and the Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini
By Paul Vance.
We examine clothing as a symbol of all the things we are.
or were.
Or hope to be.
Closed-minded.
My eye went immediately to a doll that was clothed in a long dress in dark pink. The dress was really simple with no decoration beyond a simple brown bow with a tie around the waist. It had no sequins, no spangles, no feathers. But this was the dress that I could imagine a real person wearing. This was the dress I could imagine wearing.
I will receive instructions from the artist on how I am to position my body and how often I'm entitled for breaks. And then it will come.
The moment we've all been waiting for.
The ribbon cutting.
The dramatic unveiling. One slip of the loose knot of my belt, and I set my robe in a heap at the side of the stand.
Out of the composition.
But within easy reach.
I am community are always the most jarring. For me.
And for those who are looking.
But after a few seconds, the flamboyance seems to settle a bit.
And the artists seem to get down to the task at hand.
Which is not merely to color,
Or to watch.
or to gaze,
With the transmit from their eyes to the model,
to their hands,
to the paper,
or the canvas.
or the clay.
The image they hope to render.
Over the next several months, when I had the house to myself, I would pull out the wig and put it on.
Staring for a long time. Then started mincing around. Tossing hair back and forth. Pretending to be a shy woman at a ball. Declining offers to dance.
I found her.
Short sleeveless blue dress.
And feeling like I was going to have a heart attack, I put it on. From this came a search through my mama's closet where I found
A pair of high white go-go boots.
I put them on. And the transformation was complete. I was.
A girl!
And incidentally, I was a girl whom I found to be quite attractive.
I chose a doll at random. And slowly, carefully, I slid on the dress. She looked beautiful. Her face was raised shyly, hopefully as if to ask, how do I look?
Oh, that? It is not having matching shoes.
Never mind, she looked beautiful. I pawed through the collected shoes.
Sneakers, fluffy slippers.
Fragile heels in every shade not found in nature.
None were worthy of the dress.
So I finally settled on a pair of high white heels.
Well, at least they don't clash with the dress.
Suddenly, the prince, placing the glass slipper on the mistreated, but oh so worthy Cinderella, who would one day be queen. The glass slipper.
Symbol of beauty and creativity.
Then everyone could see that they not only wanted to be her,
But they wished that they were nicer to her when they had the chance.
I've learned to ignore my lack of clothing. Learned to ignore what my manufactured and artificial skin usually hides. Learned to suppress my thoughts.
Are my boobs too small?
Are my ribs like a xylophone?
Is my butt too big?
These thoughts are replaced with lightning idea that this is me at my purest. Nothing to hide my flaws, nothing to shape what people think of me, no evidence of who I might be outside this room.
pure,
Untainted.
uncomplicated.
Courageous.
Confident. Mark Twain said.
Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence on society.
That year, I've been informally testing the truths of Twain's formula by placing myself on both ends of the equation, pushing my boundaries both clothed and naked.
When October rolled around, it was time for this debutante to venture out into society.
Halloween!
Who would think anything of a 10-year-old boy putting on his mama's wig and go-go boots just to get some candy? It felt like the perfect plan. Not wanting to out myself on the spot, I did some quality acting in front of my mama. Hey, Mama, for Halloween this year, I think I'm going to be Groucho or a spaceman or I don't know. Hey, you know what could be funny? I should dress up like a girl. That'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it?
If they handed out awards for childhood deceit, he would have at least gotten a nomination.
My boy, dress up like a girl? Wow, that would be funny. Hold on a minute.
I steeled myself and prepared several statements of denial in my head.
I've had this old wig planned out for years. I almost gave it away last month.
My heart really almost stopped on that one. I made a mental note to self.
Hide that wig.
I'll bet. This will look great on you.
As my mom placed the wig on my head, a wave of joy overtook me upon my mama's confirmation of my feminine charms.
Being an art model, I have more power that may be apparent at first.
Freud once said,
Everything is about sex, except sex.
Which is about power.
this may or may not be true.
And technically, I will never be the most powerful person when I'm up on the model stand.
For you will always be the one getting paid.
I don't only do it for money.
But it feels like we're just individuals.
When it should feel like we're working together.
Maybe we should just be doing our respective jobs.
I picked out the dress, boots, and accessories. When I came out of the bathroom, Mama was shocked.
Oh, Paul, the dress is perfect.
I started to feel dirty. I envisioned God standing there with his arms crossed, head shaking, muttering,
Oh, you're gonna pay for this, friend.
Fortunately,
I love the idea.
When Mrs. Beebe called us down to
Dinner, darlings.
I relinquished the drink slowly, and then I sat down in the dress.
well, the grown-ups talked.
I was still with the dress. As the prince, he stared into my blushing eyes and he said, Do I love you because you're beautiful? Or are you beautiful because I love you? Did it make a difference?
When I was 23, one of my summer jobs was
Working as a sales associate at the Guest store in Boston.
working in the men's department one afternoon. I saw this creep shuffling out the street with the sweaty urgency of a consummate purge.
Still, what else can we do but serve him?
He rushed to the racks, collecting half a dozen pairs of jeans, heedless of size or wash. Denim streaming behind him as he entered the fitting room I had unlocked. A moment passed then.
Miss!
I prepared as best I could for the worst. And there it was,
Poking through the
of
fly.
his ill-sized jeans.
Bobbing up and down like a rubber duck in a kiddie pool.
I quit that day.
When Halloween rolled around,
I got in my costume,
Mom was taking pictures.
and I headed out into the night. When I went from door to door, the reaction I got was exactly what I was hoping for.
oh my goodness, aren't you just a pretty little thing? Are you a girl?
People thought I was a girl. I had never been happier in my life. There I was, in my own neighborhood. It was the perfect social crowd.
I asked to be excused, and on my way to the bathroom, I was detoured by Debbie Beebe's bedroom. And there it was, the dress, staring sadly ceilingward, lonely, lost, and abandoned. I knew that if that dress were mine,
The prince would find her beautiful, and life would be a haze of happily ever after.
Hadn't Debbie Beebe said she didn't want the dress anyway?
I could have sworn that she had that she wouldn't even miss it if it were gone. She certainly wouldn't notice.
I worked my way through college at this high-end boutique on M Street in Georgetown. The job was not easy to land. To keep it, I had to look my best at all times and become good at earning commission.
We were catty.
My coworkers and I,
We were snotty.
we were, well, mean. Whenever a chubby customer besieged us,
Do these jeans make my butt look fat?
oh, no. They're flattering.
Their made was fantastic.
Elastic is the best thing to have from jeans in years.
They won't shrink when you wash
And
them.
you wouldn't want to put designer jeans in the wash anyway.
But no matter what, it always set them up for their favorite punchline.
Honey, those jeans don't make your butt look fat.
Your butt makes your butt look fat.
As I relived the night in my head, trying to figure myself out, I knew I had gone so far over to the girl side that I was losing interest in the opposite sex. I love my posters. Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith.
But there was no denying it.
I loved myself in girls' clothes, and I couldn't wait to get the outfit
The full outfit.
back on again.
Finally, certain that my life would be incomplete without that pink Barbie dress, I decided to take it. I walked over and I very carefully undid the Velcro from the back of the Barbie dress. And then I slid it down over Barbie's chest, hips, and legs.
Who wants ice cream?
I stopped, moved slowly. Slowly, as if somehow, should someone find me, the very slowness of my actions would somehow deem me innocent. Just as slowly, I slid the dress into the pocket of my shorts.
Are you ready to go home yet?
I'm ready to go home.
I was troubled. I liked who I was, how I felt, and how I acted. More as a nude art model than a bitchy store clerk. I've never been able to get that old public speaking trick to work for me about picturing everyone else in the room to be naked. Something to do about authority. But the notion of clothing
As a symbol of supremacy
doesn't strike me as necessarily true. The naked people have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Were I ever charged with the task of addressing this mythical unclothed audience? I suspect I just stand there thinking, wow, these people are confident enough to be naked. And in the face of their monumental self-assuredness, I'd be struck.
Speechless. The next day, when I returned home from school, there was a note from my mom saying that she had gone out shopping. Once I was fully made up to my satisfaction, I started to parade around the living room as if entertaining guests, laughing at unheard jokes and telling people to sit soft. I turned on the music and started to do a spastic version of the twist, trying to make my pearls swing around my neck like a hula hoop, having that my hair hit the tips of my mouth, when suddenly I heard a loud, I froze. I looked toward the window, and there was a girl from my school, her face pressed up against the glass, staring at me.
Why are you dressed that way?
I couldn't think of anything.
Do you know anything about a Barbie dress that Debbie Beebe's is missing?
As much as I wanted that pink dress, I wanted even more to not get in trouble for doing something wrong, but it was clear to a seasoned lie detector like my dad that I had, in fact.
You stolen the dress? Assure Mrs. Beebe that we will return it.
Mrs. Beebe said just keep it.
And to my surprise,
I agree.
they knew before I did that.
Each time you look at this dress, I want you to think of the trouble you have caused over a dress.
Art historian James Alkine agrees with Twain about the lack of influence the naked have in society. He observes that
In the majority of situations in which one person is clothed and another naked, the balance of power tends to be in favor of the clad person.
Hospitals,
porn industry,
prisons,
There is humiliation in all three settings.
and people are coerced in each of them. Though perceptive, it's incomplete. In these situations, naked people are not disempowered because they are naked. Rather, they are naked because they are.
Disempowered.
And I won't dispute that being a nude art model is saucier than, say,
being a sales girl.
Or a secretary.
both of which are low-end jobs that I've held and hated. But most of this purported sexiness stems from the risk and thrill of my being naked in front of others who are not. But here's the thing. In those other clothed jobs, I was looked at.
And even touched.
By my male colleagues and customers, and there was really nothing that I could do about it.
In modeling,
I'm the one in charge of who gets to look and when, and in most cases I get paid over twice as much as I would in those other jobs where I had less control over such matters.
your mama was just in a car accident.
I immediately went numb. And without another thought, I threw that screen door open and ran down to the intersection 1 block over. As I rounded the corner, I saw a large crowd and Mama's lime green Dodge Dart. The front end smashed and steaming. And then I saw my mama. And she was moving. As the police officer led her away, I stood there helplessly, trying not to cry, but feeling the tears coming on. As I looked up at the crowd for sympathy, I saw that they were no longer staring at the wreckage of the accident, but was indeed staring at me.
In the middle of the neighborhood,
In broad, non-Halloween daylight,
In full drag.
far worse than my parents' disappointment was the loss of the magic. The pink dress was no longer perfection personified.
but just a homemade Barbie dress.
There was no waltzing,
No singing of "Do I love you because you're beautiful."
no prince riding into your life on a snow white steed.
I won't stop looking for my prince. I know that he will come someday. I just need the right hair, the right shoes, the right dress. And he will love me because I am beautiful.
When I first started modeling, I thought it was empowering, liberating, and it wasn't wrong. I thought it taught me to
Like my body better than I had before.
appreciate all the things it can do.
And to teach it to do new ones.
And it did.
Once I returned home, I hung up the dress and put my boots back.
And return the wig to its tube.
I realized that I would never again dress up like a girl. I had been scared back into pants.
Which is too bad.
Because I looked damn good.